Happy birthday. Kali Pitcock is 26 today. I am currently at her house. It took me a minute today to get my internet going, and I apologize for being not right on time. If it's your first time watching, this is every Saturday morning, No Guts, No Story at 9 a.m. Central. And we drove in late last night, late afternoon yesterday. And I'm super excited for today's broadcast because we're celebrating a very special girl. 26 years ago today, I had a scheduled C-section. We knew the day that she was going to be born. I had 3 babies in 4 years. Yes, 3 babies in 4 years. I was married to a professional bull rider, and the inside joke was everything was happening in 8-second increments. So some of you will get that later on during the day, but everything was happening fast. And my first 2 babies were incredibly hard babies. When I had Brooklyn, I nearly died having her. She was premature. We brought her home at a week. She was 4 pounds, 11 ounces. And at my 3-month checkup, if you can imagine this, we were renting a house. Our credit wasn't strong enough to buy. Dave was a foreman on a on-the-road construction crew. So he would leave on Monday, come home on Friday. And, I'd be like, oh, she said her first word, she rolled over, whatever. He was missing everything. And so somewhere between my firstborn and my baby, when Chance was in the womb, I was 3-month checkup with Brooklyn. And, they say, oh, you can't get pregnant that fast if you're breastfeeding, whatever. Boom, DA, here comes Chance. Hence the name Chance. And then we had a little bit of time in there. Brooklyn was 3 and Chance turned 2 in November. And Kali was born, that year in April. So he was only 1 in November, and then Kali was born in April. So I had 3 in grade school. I had 1 in preschool, 2 in grade school. Then I had 3 in high school. Growing up, these kids were just an incredible blessing in my life. But this baby, let me tell you, when Kali came along, I had been through 2 solid years of a premature colic baby, then a surprise middle baby. Chance was so ornery. You cannot imagine. Kali was born in April. She was tax day baby, April 15th. Happy tax day, everybody. And this little girl was the biggest of the 3, if you can imagine. She was 8 pounds, 6 ounces. She was the cutest thing you ever saw with the most humongous blue eyes. All I can remember was these blue eyes. We were like, oh my gosh. And Nana Cindy drove the younger 2 to Salina Hospital to come in and see this new baby. And I have pictures of them just beaming. Like anytime you have a toddler and then there's going to be a new little girl, she was like their toy. She was like their dolly. She was like, they just couldn't wait to play with her. Well, I got to tell you, Chance, being the baby at the time, was a little bit jealous. And Nana Cindy had made me the most beautiful bassinet. I saw this picture in a magazine. This is before Pinterest or any social media. And it was like layer after layer after layer after layer of lace. I just couldn't wait for this bassinet. And so when we put her in it, she was just a little butterball. She was just a chunky little thing. Didn't have a lick of hair. I mean, I can remember when she was in the nursery that night, everybody was coming to see her the next morning. And I had 3 C-sections in 4 years. So because of my challenges with the first one, and then having Chance so soon after, they didn't want me to get toxemia help syndrome ever again. Because I was a candidate for that. So they always took them a little bit early and scheduled a C-section. So we bring her home. She was fully developed, like 8 pounds, 6 ounces. There was nothing early about her, even though they did take her about 3 weeks before I would have had her. And she's just this little cute, butterball in this bassinet. And we lived in this old house. We were struggling. We had 5 businesses. It was a lot, and our backs were against the wall. The economy was in the toilet. When she was born, 1996 to 1997 was one of the worst recessions. I mean, oil was $7 a barrel. We live in an oil community at the time. everybody was going bankrupt. People were getting foreclosures and their cars were being repossessed. And I was trying to teach dance, do craft shows on the weekend, cut hair all day long. I had a consignment shop where people could bring things in and they would sell them, and we would keep 10% of all their sales. So I had like 50 consigners, 65 dance students. I'm trying to teach tap and not wet my pants while I'm carrying this baby number 3 in 4 years. I was a hot mess. And my husband had just recently joined a home-based business. And so we moved into this old rest home. It was 5 bedrooms, 2-story, with columns out front that looked like the White House. And it was very old and outdated, and it needed restored, right? Well, Dave, his grandma taught him how to redo antique furniture. So he thought he could redo all the oak in this house, and he did. And we were in the process of it when I bring this new baby home. So you guys got to imagine, we got hospital tiles scraped off the floor. We got new, carpet. We got stain running down painted walls. Like, we're in the middle of a complete remodel, and along comes baby number 3. So along with running 5 businesses, we're doing the restoration of this 110-year-old house. And we got these big Victorian columns. And in the middle of this room is this beautiful lace bassinet. And in this lace bassinet, with layer after layer after layer of lace, is this perfect little baby and this ornery 1-year-old that's so jealous that he's not the baby anymore. And the thing that I remember about Kali, I'm going to tell you things I've learned from her. She is tough. I mean, when you're the youngest and you have 2 older siblings and one of them is Chance, you're going to be tough. He would go in there and he would pop her on the head, and then he would run, and I would hear the baby crying, and I would go running in there, and I would be like, why is she crying? And he would have this little shit-eating grin on his face, not even going to lie. And he would just do anything he could to see if he could get this baby to react. Well, we had these old radiators, and Chance would buck on this. We had a spring horse, and Dave was, a bull rider. So Chance would go in there in his little cowboy boots and his chaps, and he would buck on this spring horse until he would buck off. And he thought it was funny. And then I would be headed to the emergency room because he cracked his head open on the radiators or whatever. Well, he just thought, I'm in this room bucking off my horse. I got this cute little baby in this bassinet. We'll see if she can do the same thing. So one day I go in there. He has the bassinet upside down. The baby is on the floor. Like, I'm literally like, what in the world is he even thinking? He'd be like, oh, she's all right. She's all right. He would tap her on the head. She's all right. Well, I would spank him, put him in the corner. You just have to imagine it was mayhem, you guys. And Dave was trying to run our 5 businesses because all of a sudden I had 3 kids and this new baby at home and a C-section. And I remember they said, don't lift anything more than 10 pounds with your C-section. Okay, all bedrooms were upstairs, a big flight of stairs. You're trying to keep one from knocking the bassinet over. One's eating regular food, right? One is on a bottle and one is breastfeeding. Like, it was craziness. And Kali got the nickname Crazy Kali. And I'm telling you, this girl was the perfect baby. She would smile in the midst of all the mayhem. She would fall out of her bassinet, not even cry. She slept all the way through the night. She was the first baby I had that didn't have colic. And I'm telling you, I was obsessed with being at home with these 3 kids. And it was her that I looked at Dave and said, I'm never taking her to daycare. I'm never taking her to daycare. We decided that we were going to work from home, and both of us were going to be full-time stay-home parents. So now all of a sudden we could go to the park on Tuesday when nobody was there. We could drive to Worlds of Fun on a weekday when there weren't any lines. We could get in the car, drive to Maryland where Dave's mom was living, and we could visit her for 2 weeks, and we didn't have to worry about a job. She put such a dream in my heart to be a stay-home mom. And I swear to God, I would have breastfed her until she was in kindergarten if I could have, because somehow I knew I was not going to get another baby. Like, my dream was to have 5, but it was so nuts with 3 babies all at the same time and all of these businesses that somehow I took that dream down off the fridge for a minute, and we just focused on these 3 amazing kids that we were so blessed with. And being her mom, being a mom, is really my greatest accomplishment. I wanted to be there at every room party. I wanted to be there at every sporting event. I wanted to be able to nurture them and love them. And, Dave and I were stay-home parents. And so her softball coach would be like, well, we don't have any parents that can help. And I would be like, I'll help. I never was good at softball ever. I tried, but I usually quit every sport that I started because my mom and dad were not really around. They were workaholics, and I was helping with, all my younger siblings. So it was like everything that I could volunteer for, I was like, I'm going to do it. She wanted to take dance. We built a bigger dance studio. She wanted to run track. We put PVC pipes, hurdles all across the front yard of the farm. Like, she was the shortest girl. I don't think there was anybody shorter than her in her class, but she would enter in the hurdles. Like, this girl, one thing I learned from her is being competitive. She's so competitive. Even her brother and her nowadays, like, she's always had this competitive spirit that she might be small, but she was mighty. She might be the youngest, but she was going to outdo anything she could. If her brother did it, she was going to do it. And it's been so fun watching them grow up to be adults, because even today, she's still crazy Kali with this competitive spirit, and she's so much fun, and she's such an adventurous that she's always kind of pushed us to get out of our comfort zone and do something bigger. So I will tell you, her freshman year, she had the lead part in a play. She did vocal lessons after she got out of sports practice. She was in track. She was doing softball. She was the wrestling manager because her brother was a state champion wrestler. She thought, oh, I'll be the manager. She was in everything, you guys. She was in volleyball. If there was a sport, she was in it. She was doing competitive dance. She was on velocity dance team. And it was so crazy because I had to drive around to all these things. So I would literally pick her up after school, take her to dance, or she would have sports practice, then dance till 8 or 9, break for supper, eat a sandwich from dance, go to vocal lessons, go back to dance. Enough was never enough. She was in it to win it. And I remember her freshman year, her brother was going into, or her sophomore year, her brother was going into his senior year. And they came to us and said, we want to move to Hayes. And I'm like, move to Hayes? We had 22 acres in Russell. Hayes was a little bigger city, little bigger school. They both had been talking to boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever in Hayes. And I was like, we're not moving to Hayes because of some girl or boy, right? No, there's a bigger school. There's more opportunity. We want to get into a D1 college. We want to do sports. We want, whatever. And these two kids talk us into moving out of our beautiful home. We merged our company, and we were going to do that anyway. We had a multi-million-dollar company that was growing like crazy. So we were busy with that. I owned the dance school. What are we going to do? Move from Russell, where we were born and raised, to a city for opportunity. And let me tell you guys, on a leap of faith, these two enrolled in a different school. She was no longer on the dance team. She wanted to try cheer. You've never been a cheerleader. The dancers would literally be like, I'd rather be on dance team than cheer team. How kids are anyway, you get it. So we moved to a new town where we know nobody. And I decide to sell the dance school. And when I decide to sell the dance school, she's like, why are you selling it to that school? These girls hate me. I'm not going to that dance school, Mom. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to live in Hayes and have the dance school in Russell, right? So I sell to the biggest dance school in Hayes at the time. And Kali has to now be in dance with these girls that she's intimidated by. So obviously she's going to start in the back row, right? And they don't like her anyway. Today, this very day, one of those girls is driving here to celebrate her birthday, became her best friend. Kali moved from the back row to the front row. Kali is in her wedding that's happening in 2 weeks. This girl that she was afraid of, she conquered her fear. She went to a new school. She went to a new dance school, completely out of her comfort zone, in it to win it. And she rose up to the top. You guys, when I look at her, she is fearless. I don't know how she does it. I would have never done it, but she is fearless. There's nothing that she can't do. There's nothing that she won't try. So if you're taking notes, Get out of your comfort zone, be crazy like Kali, and be resourceful. Like, the thing that I noticed about her is she likes to try new things. It's always been this way. If you look at this past year, when she was 25 years old, one day she decides to go to silks. The next thing I know, she's up in the air doing silks, building upper body strength. Many of you know, many of you don't know. She owned a store in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and she moved there when she didn't know anybody. She started a new business, didn't know anybody there. She worked it 365 days straight without ever having one employee. She bought a condo, but she didn't live in it. She rented it out and stayed in a dorm-like setting, but it was like college housing with her boyfriend, so she could be resourceful with this condo and launch a new business, which later she would hire her first employee at 1 year. And today that business is still going strong. Let's get even crazier than that, you guys. She moved to Germany with Darian when he got a contract to play professional basketball. Didn't know anybody and said, what could I do from Germany remotely that I could kill it? And it was so weird because right before Darian got his contract to go to, overseas and play professional basketball, they found a house here, this house in Kansas City. And he graduated Tulsa. They decide they're going to move close to his family. They buy a house. They buy the house after they saved for all these years. I mean, she was 25, still doing the, college living, saving, busting her butt, working 365 days straight, saving for this down payment. They buy the house. But in the midst of buying the house, it wasn't easy to get financing because when you're an entrepreneur, you're 25, you have all these write-offs, so it's not like you're reporting a lot of income that you made and you want to buy a house. It's not easy. So when she figured out a way to get around this loophole of being an entrepreneur, no credit, cash flow, but nobody would approve her. And when she did find a way to get approved, she said, I want to help people do that. That's amazing. So during her year 25, she becomes a loan officer and then moves to another country and still kills it. So when I wake up at 5 a.m., it's noon for her, and she's already grinding. She's already making money. She's already getting new clients, getting their credit repaired, getting them a loan, getting them pre-approved to buy. And she's calling me 5 a.m. Hey, good morning, Mom. I've been waiting all day to talk to you. It's noon. I just got a new client. I just helped somebody. I just sold something on Etsy. I need this shipped for my store. Oh, we have our cars rented out on Turo. I'm watching this girl, mind blown that she's my baby and that she's the youngest and that she's this competitive with absolutely no fear, killing it at age 25. And I know this week I'm actually going to have her in my best coaching page. I'm going to get her to teach some of the things that she does because I don't even get it. Like, how do you just start an Etsy store? I don't know how many of you guys know about her Etsy store, but she has this beautiful little bulldog. He's laying here by my feet. I had him over the last year because Germany wouldn't let him fly there on a plane because of his snub nose, and it almost killed her. I don't think she would have went to Germany had they known they couldn't take their dog. But she was at the airport when they said, he can't go on the plane with you. And I became the grandma to the dog for the past 9 months. So here he is laying at my feet, but he's beautiful. And she wanted a chain for him. And chains were like tremendously expensive, right? But she wanted this beautiful chain for her bulldog, and she got one. And then she said, I wonder if I could make those. And she did. And so many people wanted them. She started an Etsy page. So if you go look up Barky's dog apparel, I kid you not, when she was in Germany and all we had to do was ship all the chains that she was making, some days it would be 12, 15 chains in a day. She killed it with this idea. And it came because she saw a problem. She solved the problem. She's resourceful. Write down the word resourceful. What can I do to be independent and make it on my own? I don't know where she got her independence from other than maybe watching us fall down and get back up and fall down and get back up. But unfortunately, the move to Hayes and our new business venture exploded when we merged our company. The next thing you knew, we were making millions of dollars. We were living in a 10,000 square foot home. I hated the house, but it was close to the school. I felt like I was in the lobby of the Hyatt, but they were having Cali Bash 2.0 in the backyard with 300 kids coming to karaoke or listen to a band. And, like it was fun. We were entertaining. We always wanted all the kids to be at our house, didn't want to have to worry about where our kids were at. And Callie was never really a partier. She was very driven, but she loves to entertain. Like she loves her friends, her social circle. Callie and Darian don't drink. Callie and Darian don't party at all. They're very driven. But let me tell you, when we were at this big house in Hayes and we had expanded our lifestyle because we were expanding our income, Callie goes to college, and sometimes in life, things happen that are uncontrollable. That company made some decisions that led us to make some decisions. You can't sell your soul no matter how much money that you're making. And the next thing you knew, our income was about $3,500 a month. And that wouldn't have even paid the car payments. So Callie was going to college her freshman year, and her mom and dad are liquidating everything, right? We had always kept our farm in Russell. We moved back to the farm, and it was a struggle. That year, Callie was a freshman. She was living with her best friend, Kristen. And Kristen and Callie both grew up with parents that, were very successful. But all of a sudden, Callie's parents were struggling. And so Callie didn't have a credit card. Callie didn't have a bunch of money coming. Callie didn't have a job that she could work because she was a Kansas State cheerleader. And she had to be resourceful. Like I literally was selling everything. I was like, she got into a D1 college. She's going to school for the medical profession. She was going to be either a plastic surgeon, or maybe she was going to be a children's doctor. At one point, she was going to be a veterinarian. She was changing her mind, but she knew she wanted to get into the medical field. So she becomes a straight A student, gets her degree in kinesiology. She's a 4.0. I mean, she is killing it. And mom and dad are sucking the hind one. Like we're literally digging ourselves out of a hole. This girl gets a spray tan so that she can, cheer on a Saturday game, and decides I could do that. And with a $500 spray tan machine, she advertises, and every Friday night we show up to her and Kristen's apartment to 22 naked girls in the garage getting their spray tan from Spray Tan by Callie. And she puts herself through this 4-year education, spraying the entire dance team, the entire cheer team, and anybody else that has a body that needs sprayed, because it's something that she can do in the nooks and crannies between 5 a.m. practice, 6 o'clock runs, all day classes, finals, whatever it is. She's so resourceful. And I will tell you, she is very independent and has built every business she has from the bottom up. We have been incredibly supportive. I will say our bottling facility did help her and Chance start their private label because we could bottle it and they could sell it. I am so proud of the drive that this girl has and the empire that she is building. Get out of your comfort zone, number one. Protect your energy, number two. If me and Callie are having a conversation, even when we lost our income, and I had a lot of hate, I had a lot of resentment, it wasn't fair. I went through a long legal battle. And your kids know what you're going through. Like they know because it's just going to pop up in conversation. Callie watched us, and she helps me today make good decisions, protect my energy, and not sell my soul. It's okay for your kids to see you fall as long as they see you get back up and keep fighting. You can't be a victim the rest of your life. You're either going to be a victim or a victor. And if there's anything I see in her, it doesn't matter what happens to her. It's the way that she reacts. She reacts in a way She knows her worth. Write that down. Know your worth. If Kali is your friend, you're fortunate, because if she's your friend, she's your friend. I mean, I watched her the last night before we went to Germany. She had a friend here in Kansas City that had been through some struggles and came out on top, started a clothing line. It was our last night together before she's going to leave for a year. And she literally looks at me and Dave and says, we got to drive across town to get to this clothing launch at this downtown event in traffic. We at least have to show up. My friend Raquel launched her clothing line tonight. And I find myself on our last night together before my daughter's going overseas, sitting in the front row, watching rappers and stars and celebrities. And then her friend walk the runway and us in the front row cheering her on. She will sacrifice and be so selfless for her friends because she's that loyal. Her friend Reagan got married in Cabo, February the 22nd. Darian's injury happened that week. Darian had a surgery on his Achilles, and they lived on the 4th floor apartment in Germany where they don't know anybody and they don't have a car. They literally walk or ride their bikes everywhere. And while she's at Darian's surgery, you know, we're like, if you can't make the wedding, if you need to be there, she's like, I'm giving the speech. Like, what do you mean can't make the wedding? And she's committed to the point she's meal prepping for a week. You know, she's making sure everything's taken care of so that she can leave, because she would never not be there if you are her friend. And by God, she was there all the way from Germany to America to Cabo, and she was there. You know, we hadn't seen her other than the funeral for Nana Cindy in November, which was not a good time to see your child that's been gone all year. But when we got there and she made it to the wedding, I remember looking at her telling Dave, resilient. Like, this girl has had so much sacrifice and is being groomed for so much success. To see her get out of that taxi after 22 hours in a plane and hug her friends and be reunited with all the girls on the cheer team was like, oh my gosh, what a week it will be. And you know what? While she was on that plane, there was some trauma, tragedy happening. And our family was going through so much that it's the unthinkable what happened on February 22nd in our family. But no different than when she was getting on a plane to fly home and see Nana. And we were talking to her saying, Nana might not be here when you land. Like, you might not make it here. It was no different than the phone call that she got coming to Mexico. And her reaction is always, you know, let's be where we are. Let's find the good. It's all going to work out. It always does. And constantly focused on her inner self of strength, resilience, positive, being kind, being full of love. She will put me in check, whether it's the lawsuit that I was in or something that's happening in our family, and say, why are we talking about this? Like, why are we even talking about it? Okay, I don't want to talk about it. I don't like the way it makes me feel, because she protects her energy on a daily basis. So some of the things that I wrote down: be resourceful. Kali always finds a way. Protect your energy. Like, don't have the conversations about shit or you're going to get shit. Like, there's some times that you have to talk about things that are going on, but you don't have to talk about it all the time. And if it's not good, don't say it. Like, you don't need to say it. You need to be kind. Kali is always kind. Just like the clothing launch that we went to for the girl, she finds the good in people always and cheers them on. I remember the first time we met that girl that started the clothing line, and Kali was telling me her story. I was like, of course she loves this girl, because she's always out for the underdog to win. She's always out for that person who wants to make a new narrative in their life. But I'll tell you something else. She don't put up with no bullshit. She absolutely is not putting up with any bullshit. She will tell me, Mom, why are you allowing that to happen? You need to have a conversation with her, whether it's an employee, whether it's someone in my family, whether it's someone in my business, in my company, even a partner, whatever it is. Like, why are you putting up with that? Know your worth. And if you know her and you love her, you know you're fortunate, right? But you also know you don't want to do her wrong because she knows her worth and she's not going to ever sacrifice her worth, whether it's going to make her money, whether it's going to get her in. Like, she's just an incredibly driven person with integrity. And she's competitive. Like, she's competitive. She's not playing small. Like, if she wants a Prada bag, she's going to go buy herself a Prada bag, and it'll take the sacrifice, but she knows her worth. She's worth it. And I'm over here. We could just get the fake one. Kali's like, why would I want to get the fake one when I'm worth the real one? Like, she knows her worth. Where me, I'd be like, I'll take the dupe. I mean, I know my worth, but I'll take the dupe, right? Perseverance. If it doesn't work, she's not quitting. I watched her in that store for 365 days, never have a day off. On Sundays, Darian would have a game and she would put a sign on the door, gone for whatever, be back at 5 o'clock. And if his game was at 2 and we were done at 4:30, she would go back at 5 to finish the day till 6. She wasn't taking off early because she knew the value of customer service, being there, building a brand, not making excuses, not being lazy, not doing something half-assed. Like, if you're going to do it half-assed, don't do it at all. She's never going to half-ass it. She's not a half-asser. She's all the way. And the thing that I love about her is that she's just crazy fun. Like, when we went to Germany, it was so much fun. Her and Darian, I mean, I've never seen two people be sober and not even have a drink and laugh so much and have so much fun and do so many things. Like, they are two peas in a pod. And I'm so grateful that this amazing man came into her life. I am so very grateful for Darian because it's like they just complete each other. She knows her worth. She had patience. She had, I don't know what the word is for it, but where you like raise the bar and you don't settle. I can remember when Kali was dating, I would be like, wow, like, that guy really wants to date you? And Kali would be like, he's a player. You know, where most people would be like, oh my gosh, he's famous. Everybody knows him, whatever. Like, Kali's like, nah, I don't want that. She knew her worth. She knew that there was somebody out there that would complete the things that she wanted. And choosing your mate, you guys, is probably the most important thing you're ever going to do in your life, because that's going to affect everything you ever do in your life. And I'm going to say, don't settle, but I'm also going to say, don't sell your soul or lower your self-worth for the Instagram likes, for the fame, for the being the most popular choice. What I love about Kali is that she's so true to herself, that she knew what she wanted, and the universe was in alignment to one day everything came together. Now, no matter what you do, it's not always going to be easy, right? You're always going to have bumps in the road. Kali and Darian, they've had some bumps in the road this year. You know, being overseas, being in an area where you didn't know anybody, and then them calling home and us saying Nana's not going to make it, and he couldn't leave, not even for the funeral. And, you know, them being apart when she lost her grandma, and then being there and him having the injury, and you know, he's having miraculous recovery. And it's amazing. Last night, these two, they've been trying to get us here for, I don't know, a few weeks, ever since Darian's been going to this doctor for treatment. This doctor works with a lot of NFL players. And last night I took a picture, which I don't know what I would ever do with the picture, but he had like all these NFL players that he has helped them restore their health after injuries, like players that all of you would know. And in the middle of all these Super Bowl rings and jerseys and whatever memorabilia was Darian's jersey that he sent from Tulsa. And he said, I just love these kids. Like, I knew when I got around Kali, he met Kali for the first time. He's known Darian his whole life. He's like, I just love their energy. I knew that like good things are going to happen when you get around good people. And then the next thing you know, his two sons are in the living room asking Kali, will you mentor me to open a store with your brand like you and Chance did? And she's at the doctor's office yesterday with Darian, and he got ozone treatment, which I'm mind blown. And, the two doctors, when we got to town, we made it just at the end of his appointment. But the two doctors are in the lobby saying, will you help me start my own private label? Because those products that you brought me of yours are amazing. And we want to put them in our clinic. And she's like, yeah, I'll call you Monday. And you guys, all I can say is, as a mom, you want your kids to be happy. I mean, I don't care if my kids want to live in a tent and help homeless people, or whether they want to be in Scottsdale, Arizona, building multiple stores, living in a mansion, or if they want to be in Greenwood, Missouri, and they want to be doing Turo and real estate and professional sports and Etsy and retail stores. Like, I don't care what my kids do. A mom's heart just wants their kids to be happy. Like, you just want them to be happy. And I think to see Kali be so happy is the greatest gift, because this girl has been groomed and conditioned and been through adversity and tests that have created her testimony. I love that her and Darian's first date was on Easter weekend. Well, it was 420, but he took her to church, Pastor Todd in Tulsa. Some of you know he's an incredibly famous preacher today, but this was before it was a ginormous church. And Darian's pastor was, a big part of the beginning of their relationship. It's what every mom prays for, that their kids will grow up, be happy, have a really strong spiritual foundation, have someone that loves them and treats them like they are worthy of being treated, that they will be self-sufficient, that they will be successful, that they will do and be and have anything that they ever dream of. But as a mom, you can't do that for your kids. It's like the baby chicken and the egg. Like, you want to, but what happens if there's a baby chicken and they're pecking and they're pecking and they're pecking, and you're watching them just try to break out of this egg, and then you break the egg? You know what? The chicken dies, because the chicken doesn't get the strength it needs to really be successful. And there were times in my life where I always wanted to break the egg and help the chicken, right? Chance used to call me Mother Bird, because we would watch the birds, and the mom would bring the bird a worm, but eventually the mama ain't bringing the worm. Today, me and Kelly were looking out the back window and we were talking, and I had dug up a portion of a peony bush in Nana Cindy's yard this week. It's been a sad year, you guys. There's been a lot of victories, but there's been a lot of defeat. There's been a lot of triumphs, but there's been a lot of tragedy and trauma. And that's life. But as a family, you get through it. You just get through it. And this morning, me and Nana, sorry, that was a blooper. Me and Callie were looking out the back window, and there was a cardinal out there, and I brought the peony bush portion of it. I left part of it, but I dug it up. Callie's favorite flower is a peony. And she always says, one of these days when I get married, I'm going to have so many peonies. Well, peonies are seasonal. Peonies are rare, and they're incredibly expensive when you try to order them. Like, they're pretty much obsolete if you're ordering flowers unless you grow them. And they only bloom, that 1 week or so, usually during Memorial Weekend. Well, I brought the bush, and it's in a bucket, and it's in the backyard, and we're going to plant it today. I also got an incredible gift for her. I cannot wait for her to unwrap. It's so sentimental. It's going to mean so much to her. It's something money could never buy. And I think we might be going to the MMA fights tonight, which I don't know how I will survive it. But Dave and Callie and Darian have watched so many Saturday night fights at the lake house till 1 or 2 in the morning, where I'm hiding my face. And tonight they're live here in Kansas City. So we might be doing that. I know we're going to this game place where there's like, I don't know what all you do there, but there's like tons of games. Her friends are driving here. It's going to be an amazing day to celebrate her. But as we woke up this morning, she's like, Mom, you're late for your live. We're trying to get the internet to work. We look out the back window. There's a cardinal. It's not the most beautiful cardinal. It's like just getting its color. And she goes, Mom, look at that cardinal. Why is it eating a dandelion? I said, it's getting a worm. It rained last night, right? You could see it out there. And it was just new. It was just getting life. But it was just a confirmation that in our life, we also have these spiritual guides, right? Kali has had a lot of mentors in her life. Her cheer coach was like a second mom to her, right? Her dance teachers growing up. When I owned the dance school, I wasn't a competitive dance coach, but I hired the 2 best girls I knew, and they helped groom her to be incredible. And then we moved and she went to another level, to like the one that always won nationals. And they groomed her to be on another level, you know, and then to watch her make cheer when she had never cheered until the last 2 years of high school. Just, she's always looking for a mentor. When she was in Tulsa and Darian was going to away games all the time, she's like, when he's at away games, I'm going to take on this new journey. And she got into silks. And the next thing I know, there's a silk hanging from the rafters in her 2-story ceiling store. And when she got finished working all day, she would lock the door and she would get her little thing. What's it called, Darian? What's that thing that she would hang from? It's like, silk. It's a silk, but it was like connected to the rafters. I don't know. Darian, you want to say something about Kali on my tribute to her? I love her. Happy birthday. Aw, you guys want to meet Darian? He's here with me. I'm in their house. Her and her dad went somewhere. I don't know. Hello. This is Darian, Kali's significant other. We call him our second son. He's amazing. What would you say about Kali? What have you learned from Kali?
She cares about others.
Oh, she does.
Cares about others. She put others in front of herself, and that's basically the biggest thing. Like she will not take a break for 1 second. She always hustling. I always tell her you need to rest, but she always want to put others in front of herself, and that's the biggest thing I learned from her.
So when you first met Kali, what did you think?
I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. First of all, she was like an energy. She was like a bunny. She just does a lot of things, and I'm like, we're 2 different kind of people. But, you know, everybody say opposites attract, so it worked out for the best.
She is energetic.
Yeah.
And watching her start her store, what a sacrifice.
Yeah.
She had a lot of 0 days, didn't she?
A lot of stressful days, but look at us now. It's, what, 3 years, 2 years? Yeah. It runs itself. So.
It does. So Kali's so resourceful. What other businesses have you guys done that you're just amazed at?
Arturo, like you said, I heard you talk about her Barkies. And what else? She does a lot of stuff.
So the Turo thing, why did she say, Darian, let's do Turo?
Well, in Tulsa, because we live right by the airport, so a lot of people will come and get it from the airport. And we wanted a Tesla, and it was like, if we get a Tesla, we got to put it on Turo because it's a proven concept that people will actually, you know, get it. And then we haven't paid a car payment out of it because our Turo has been paying it for ourselves. So we've basically been riding around with a free Tesla for the past 1.5 years. So
you guys hear that? They got a Tesla. They've never had to make the payment for 1.5 years because Kali is resourceful. So, but Darian, there's sacrifices. How many times did you rent both cars?
I'm cleaning it right now.
You're cleaning.
Somebody's about to pick it up in like 2 minutes. That's a sacrifice right there.
That is sacrifice on the birthday. So it's birthday, but we don't get to take the Tesla because we're renting it out. So Tesla, what about our loan officer? Like when she became a loan officer and you guys are over in Germany, how much sacrifice has that been?
Oh, a lot of late nights for us because she has to stay up in order to get the loans out or talk to all of her people. And it was a lot of late nights, early mornings, because, you know, Kali can't sleep unless she gets her job done. So.
She's so driven. So if you want a home loan and you want to know that it closes, Kali is your girl. Well, I wish she was here or I could just bring her on camera because I'm telling you guys, she is the most amazing individual that you're ever going to meet. And she sets the bar high. She ain't taking no bullshit. She got boundaries.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Look at him. He's looking at his clock. Well, we're going to celebrate her all day. Darian and I went shopping last week in Tulsa. We got some really special things for her. And
I'm excited.
Anything else we would say about Kali?
No. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. So happy birthday, Kali. We love you. We cannot wait to celebrate you. And if you guys want to learn from Kali and Darian, I'm actually bringing them on a training module in my new coaching group. And we are going to help people learn how to drive a Tesla and never make a payment, how to work remotely and grind and make money online. I have learned so much from them. And they pushed me yesterday. What was that street you guys had me on, Darian? I was literally, what was it? We were in Overland Park, and it reminded me of Scottsdale. Now, you guys got to understand, I'm a country girl. We've had the same house for 21 years in the country. Don't have much of a mortgage. I buy houses to flip or to rent out, not the mansion that I'm going to live in, because I don't want to have bad debt. I want to have my money working for me, right? So these two, talk about push you. They take me down whatever street we were on in Overland Park, and I'm driving by $3 and $4 million homes, and I'm pretty comfortable, right? I'm like, I don't need a $3-4 million home. But lately, I've had this new dream in my heart, where I really want to help people. I want to build a ranch. I want to be able to give back. I want to build empires with my children. We're working on companies that we're starting and things that we're going to do. And, the only reason I would ever want a house that big would be to entertain all of the people that I love. And as we were passing these houses, I'm like, I don't need that. And I can hear Kali like, know your worth, Mom. You're a baller. You need the real one, not the dupe. You need the mansion, not the little ranch. Like she's always pushing me to be more, to do more, to have more. And as I drove, Dave and I started dreaming again. And I was like, we could have some amazing weddings in those houses. We could have 20 grandkids coming down a water slide in that backyard. Like we could host some block parties. We could have our entire team to a house like that. Like, why not the lazy river? Why not the ranch? Why not the horses, the ATVs? And once again, you hang around a bunch of losers, you hang around 5 losers, you're going to be number 6. You hang around 5 winners, you're going to be number 6. You hang around 5 addicts, you're going to be number 6. You hang around 5 that are in recovery, you're going to be number 6 in recovery. Like you are the average of your environment. And Kali and Darian, they surround themselves with people and they have mentors that push them to do more, to have more, to be more, and to never just be stagnant. So the energy with her is always amazing. I don't know why. I just am addicted to the frequency that she gives off. I have so much fun with her. I love her. I am proud of her. And I just wanted to dedicate today to saying to her, congratulations, Kali. You are amazing. 26 is going to be your best year ever. And she said today, Mom, if you're 52 and I'm 26, we were trying to figure this out. Has it always been double? And she's like, no, it couldn't be. Or you would have had to have me when you were 2. Like we were trying to figure this out, but I'm double her age. I'm double her wisdom, double her failures, double her, life lessons, double her experiences, but we are partners. Like she is my daughter, but we do so much together. And I'm just so humbled to be her mom and to be able to be so blessed to be spending today with her. So I hope you guys get to meet her. I'm going to be interviewing her and having her train me while I train those in my group on so many things. Her Google ads, when she didn't know anybody in Tulsa, just bringing people in the door, right? Her Etsy store, her Turo, like maybe I do need a Tesla. I don't need a Tesla, but maybe I do need a car that I don't have to make a payment on, right? Like she will help you achieve anything you've ever dreamed of. And if you want to refinance or you want to move into your dream home, I'm telling you, don't think it's not possible. She is your girl. She is just a get shit done girl. So anyway, I'll be posting tons of pictures today. We're going to have a blast with them. I don't know if I can go watch a fight. I honestly don't know if I can go to an MMA fight, but I will do whatever she wants to because it's her birthday. And you guys stay tuned because we're going to be posting all the pictures and all the fun and celebrating her like we do every single day. But today is her actual day. So happy birthday, Kali. We love you. And I hope all of you guys enjoyed this session of No Guts, No Story. See you next week.